Hello, Massachusetts! My name is Katie Massie. I am 19 years old, and I am here today because I believe in equal rights for all women. I believe in a sustainable future. I believe in a clean dream act. But most of all, I believe in my father, Bob Massie. I know that there is no one more well-equipped to tackle these issues in the State House than my father, Bob Massie. That's why I am so proud to introduce a visionary and a courageous leader and the next governor of Massachusetts. My dad, Bob Massie.
Good morning, Democrats. I am here today to talk about the most important principle of our democracy, which is the principle of justice. Our Constitution was founded on that principle. We, the people, in order to form a more perfect union and establish justice, we pledge allegiance to the flag and with liberty and justice for everybody. We have been fighting for justice for almost 250 years. We have often failed, but we keep trying relentlessly. But I say to you today that our commitment to justice is being betrayed. Justice for the people is being hijacked by the powerful and the wealthy, and by our largest corporations, and the most dangerous incarnation of all three, Donald Trump. Today, we find ourselves in a system that is cynical and rigged and unfair and broken. And there are too many people making excuses for this reality, accepting this reality on both sides of the party. Over the last 440 days, I have campaigned in every part of this state. I have talked to thousands of people, and I have written your stories down in endless notebooks that I carry with me. And so I remember you. I remember you, Maria, working nights at Logan Airport for minimum wage, and spending your days not sleeping, but searching for an apartment that is impossible to find because you do not make enough money. That is not justice. I remember, Laura, that you told me how you worked for 16 years for a for-profit hospital company, and when they learned that you had cancer, they fired you before you were eligible for Medicare. That is not justice. I remember you, Letitia, who told me how you worried that your 3-year-old son, Jamal, who is sitting in your lap, might not make it through high school because he is an African-American boy. That is not justice. I remember everyone who's talked to me about the importance of a $15 minimum wage, paid family leave, debt-free college, affordable childcare, universal preschool. And I support 100% renewable energy, a modern transportation system, ranked choice voting, and a return to public finance. As your governor, I will block compressor stations, end mass incarceration, strengthen local schools, champion pay equity, fight sexual harassment and domestic violence, and treat people with opioid and other addictions like human beings, not criminals. People ask me, they say, Bob, we know that you're a strong progressive, but do you have the experience? My answer is yes. I started as a boy in a wheelchair whose parents were terrified that at any minute the insurance companies would pull away our coverage. I became a minister who opened a homeless shelter, a teacher, an anti-racism and anti-apartheid activist, a leader on women's equality and gender justice. And I pulled together the largest coalition in the world to hold big companies accountable and to fight climate change. As we may talk the talk of justice, but unless we actually walk the walk of fighting institutional racism, building the power of women, advancing LGBTQ and disability rights, defending unions, stopping wage theft, and expanding opportunity, then we will be a hollow shell. Now, Republican voters are not our enemies. They are our relatives, our neighbors, our fellow Americans, and they worry as we do about the loss of the American dream. And we need to reach out to them. We need to heal our wounds. And at what better time than when the Republican Party has sold its soul in order to achieve political power? Charlie Baker is not Trump. He does not say hurtful things. It is what he does not say that shows the emptiness of his heart and the slack of his spine. Listen to this. When tens of thousands of us show up in the streets over and over again demanding change, don't you think the governor of that same state should show up? So let me ask you, do you think he should have shown up at the Women's March? Yeah. The immigration rally? Yeah. The March for Science? Yeah. The Climate March? Yeah. The anti-Nazi rally? Yeah. The Second Women's March? Yeah. The anti-gun violence march? Yeah. He came to none of these. Do you think that in the course of 3.5 years as governor, Charlie could at least once have been willing to hold an open town hall and listen to the questions of the real people of Massachusetts? So, let me ask you this. If a governor won't come out to support the people of Massachusetts, don't you think the people of Massachusetts have every right to get a new governor? I agree. I don't want to lead like that. I want to be the people's governor. I want to fight for a justice economy. I'll say it again. I want to be a people's governor fighting for a justice economy. Now, imagine, what would Massachusetts be like in 10 years if we had a justice economy? Think about it. We're in 2028, and the shady main streets of Lawrence and Pittsfield and Worcester and Springfield and Holyoke are bustling with people who've lived here for generations side by side with immigrants from around the world. And our town halls are buzzing with energized conversations between young activists and wise elders of every neighborhood, race, ethnicity, gender identity, and perspective. And they're all talking about our future. Imagine our abandoned factories humming with new manufacturing, started with Commonwealth capital, paying good wages to union workers. Imagine our streets lined with triple-deckers topped with solar panels, young families, building community. Imagine innovative public schools with fired up and well-paid staff and teachers, providing childcare and preschool and K through 12 and lifelong learning. Imagine all the festivals of music and dance and art and sports that could take place. Imagine New Bedford and Fall River full of offshore wind construction and a strong, sustainable fish industry. We, at that time, will have been broken free from the business model of the vampire utilities who buy our, and we will move from having huge centralized utilities to local municipal power. Our wild green valleys in Central Mass and Western Mass are prospering because we have committed to food justice, in which farmers work on land trusts and provide rural and urban neighborhoods with fresh local produce. And imagine how wonderful it will be to get around the state in a completely state-of-the-art, statewide transportation system, including the north-south rail link, which we have passed as a platform item over and over again, but we need to bring it into being. This may sound like science fiction, but it is not. This exists all over the world. And we can have it if we fight the greed of big oil, big pharma, big real estate, big insurance, big internet, and big banks. So, if we do all of that, we will see, as Dr. King used to say, justice rolling down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. That's why I'm asking you today to join me in the great battle ahead. I want to be the people's governor, but I cannot do it without you. So, here's my question. Are you ready to rededicate yourself to justice? Then I invite you to stand up against the choking apathy and defeatism that says Charlie Baker can't be beaten. He can if we come together to fulfill our dream of the future. I challenge you to stand up for the justice economy and for the right to embrace the courage of our convictions. And if we do all of this, at this time of American darkness, then Massachusetts bravery, that great sweeping beam of light and justice that in the past has cut through America's despair, will once again guide us safely into the future. Thank you very much.